All right, unpopular opinion here, but let's talk about today why learning to go and cold approach women, okay, I see where you're going already, is the most valuable skill you can learn in your life in order to improve yourself, your personal development. It's the single biggest thing that will improve you as a man more than any other thing. More than going to the gym, more than, well, reading a lot of books would probably be close to topping that. But anyway, of the actual functional things that you do or that you think about doing, reading books is sort of a meta level thing, right? It teaches you a lot of different things. But cold approaching a woman, all right, let's break it down. Let me tell you why, all right? It's funny because I've been coaching guys for a long time, right? And I'm not talking dating coaching, okay? I mean, I've done that, but I'm talking about just like life coaching, right? Helping guys figure out their purpose in life and how to execute it and how to achieve what they want out of life and deal with their problems, their insecurities mostly, okay? And I can tell you that almost all the time, what comes up is an insecurity around women and really around your fear. I did a video, kind of a high production video, if you haven't seen it already, on the 3 fears that all men have, or I changed the title a bunch of times, but basically that's what it's about, okay? And one of them was cold approaching women, right? And basically what I said in that video was that if you didn't conquer these 3 things, you could never feel like a man. You'd always feel like you were missing something, right? You couldn't really feel confident as a man, right? And it's true, okay? But perhaps the biggest one for most guys, honestly, is this. And it's so weird that this would be the thing, right? Again, I'm not trying to like encourage you to go and become a pickup artist or anything like that. I mean, if you want to, fine, do it for a little bit, but don't do it your whole life, okay? But what I am saying is that, look, what happens when you start just talking to women, when you overcome that fear, is you start to feel really good about yourself, right? Because I was talking to a new coaching client of mine, right? And we were talking about this, and he kind of told me, yeah, my goal is I'd like to be able to sleep with a lot of different women, right? Basically, you know, he's being really honest, and he's like, I want that validation, like improve my confidence in that area. And what I was telling him was like, look, we're gonna start off by what I think is the real problem. I don't think you necessarily need to sleep with a bunch of women in order for you to feel confident or to get rid of that insecurity. I think what you need to do is to be able to go up and talk to them and face the rejection and be okay with whatever happens, no matter what happens. By the way, that's my true definition of confidence, is to know the possible outcomes of a situation and know that no matter what happens, you're gonna be okay. But I told him I think that's what you really need to do. And it's funny because that's what I really needed to do, right? The thing that really made the biggest improvement in my life, like in my internal life, my internal self-confidence, was it wasn't even success with women, okay? That was secondary, all right? Well, I don't know where it falls in the category, in the ranking, but what really made the big difference was me getting over my fear of just going up and talking to women, just talking to them, just going up and talking to them in a romantic way. And it didn't really matter what the outcome was, because when you do that and you conquer that fear, you just feel good. Like you feel this rush of endorphins because you're doing something that's scary, that biologically you're programmed to think is one of the scariest things in the world, even though there's really no negative consequence that can come from it. But that's just how life is, right? And so when you actually do this, what happens is all of a sudden you gain confidence in other areas of your life, because you're like, if I could do this thing, which is perhaps one of the most intimidating things to do, and I can go up and talk to a woman that I find attractive. Again, I know that this sounds really superficial and really, I don't know, dumb, I guess. But when you can do this, you just start to see yourself differently. And I think that's the best way that I can describe it, right? Is you see yourself completely differently, right? It just changes so drastically. The view that you have of yourself, what you're capable of, who you are, you know, because most of us guys, we do have this insecurity. Now, I'm not talking to all of you guys. Some of you guys, you've been studs all your life. Congratulations, good job. All right, but I'm talking about most of you guys, right? Myself included, right? The biggest problem that we've really faced in terms of insecurity is, are we attractive? Are we attractive enough? Like, would a woman like us? Are we, you know, capable of going out there and getting what we want, right? And would a woman accept us? Would we, you know, can we be attractive to women? That was it. That was it for me. And you might be like, well, how does approaching a woman or talking to her handle the insecurity of, am I attractive to women? Well, let me answer that for you. Okay, it does indirectly, because once you realize that you can just do it, okay, and you're going to get some success, you're going to get some positive responses, but it doesn't even matter, because once you're like, yeah, you know what, I'm the kind of guy that if I see a girl that I want to talk to, I can just go up and talk to her. Bam. All of a sudden, like, your whole view on yourself, it changes to such a degree that you don't even care if women find you attractive, because you know that you're the man. You know that you're the shit, right? And that's really the thing. Again, if you want to actually be more attractive to women, right? Let me give you the key. It has nothing to do with how you look or some tactics that you learn or any of that stuff, right? Not to say that looks don't matter at all. Obviously they do, but what I'm saying is, like, the part that you can improve, okay? It doesn't have to do so much with that. It has to do with you having a belief in yourself. And when you have a high level of belief in yourself, okay, you will be successful. And I can tell you, give you some examples to prove this out, right? You know, I've gotten pretty lean and pretty ripped and pretty jacked. I've been in really good shape and whatnot. And when I was going out there and I was talking to women, you know when I had the best success? It was when I felt like I was in the best shape, like I was the man. Like when I felt like, you know, like maybe after I just ran a marathon and I set a PR, when I felt high on myself. Now, aesthetically, did I look a lot different? No. In fact, sometimes I probably looked not as good, because sometimes after eating some junk or falling off my game a little bit, even though I hadn't really gained any fat, I mean, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between my physique from one day to the next. My success drastically went down because I didn't feel good about myself. And so I wasn't able to convey that value, right? That frame, if you want to call it, to the women that I was interacting with. All right, so again, now, the point of this video is not to be like, oh yeah, you should dedicate your life to picking up women. That's not it. That's never really been the point, okay? But my point is that, I almost fell. If you haven't faced this insecurity and you haven't gotten over it, do it and then see what happens. Now, some of you guys are like, well, I'm already in a relationship, I'm already married, but I like your videos, John, so stop making these damn videos. I get it, okay? So what can you do in this case? I don't know. I thought about this and I was like, what kind of advice can I give to you guys? It's tough because I don't want you to like break up your marriage or do stupid shit. You're just gonna have to deal with it. I honestly think I don't know how to tell you how you can now overcome this, right? Not in a ethical way that is going to actually improve your life. Man, this is a little hairy here. I feel like I'm gonna fall, especially when I'm walking and talking. But I don't have a good answer for you. I could make some shit up, but I really don't. So I'm sorry. Like, you know, I was in that state and I made the wrong choices, and you know, well, I should have, like, I guess if you're unhappy in your marriage and you still have this insecurity, maybe that insecurity is making it so you can't be happy in your marriage, then maybe you should consider exiting, not cheating, but exiting. Believe me, I learned a lesson about the cheating. That's not good, okay? But maybe you should consider that, you know, and take the time that you need to develop yourself. And I guess, you know, this is gonna bring me right into the conversation of, this is why, guys, you shouldn't get married at a young age, guys, okay? Women, it's different, all right? We're not gonna get into details there, but look, it's because, guys, you haven't had the experience yet. You haven't conquered your inner self and gotten rid of these insecurities as a man. And a lot of the personal development that you're gonna do is gonna be on your own, unfortunately. Like, it's gonna be on your own. You know, that's the ideal situation, is where you can explore things, where you don't have to worry about someone else's emotional needs, and you can just focus on getting rid of the things that are inside you. Now, some personal development does happen in a relationship. In fact, that's the finishing of the man. All right, when you do get in a relationship with a woman, get married when you're older, you're gonna find all those rough edges that you couldn't reach yourself, and she's gonna help you reach them and hopefully polish those bits off, okay? But yeah, if you're already married, I can't give you some great advice on this, unfortunately, all right? I've thought about it, and if I come up with something, I will tell you. But yeah, it's just, this is why I can only give you the caution and say, hey, don't get yourself saddled with this insecurity, right? And if you're a guy that has this insecurity right now, you better fucking face it. You better fucking face it. Why? Because life is going to go on, and someday you are going to get into a relationship potentially with a woman, and you still haven't faced this. So haven't faced this insecurity. Just having one girl like you does not fix this insecurity, okay? Being in a relationship, having a woman marry you, having a woman be attracted to you, it doesn't fix this insecurity, okay? Even being famous, okay, jacked and ripped, and having women come up to you, it doesn't fix this insecurity. It doesn't fix it. The only thing that's going to fix this is for you to go out there and face the fear. But once you do it, like I said, your whole worldview of yourself, it will change dramatically. And when that changes, like, a whole bunch of other things are going to change about you, right? I mean, again, I could look at a lot of people like, John, how did you change so dramatically? How did your voice change? How did everything change about you? All right, if you look at my older videos from way back, and I would honestly, if I have to be really honest about it, I would attribute it mostly, like a large portion of it, not all of it, but a large portion of it, or at least the thing that was the tip of the spear, right, that caused all of the other things to start to happen, was me facing these fears, facing this demon, and going forward, and then finding out that I'm okay, and keep on attacking this thing until I felt confident that I didn't need to worry about this anymore. That when I saw a woman that I found attractive, that I didn't say, oh, you know, I didn't have this pit in my stomach, like that I felt like a lesser man because I couldn't go and do what I wanted to do. And once I had cured myself of that, it became a lot easier to work on other parts of myself. And I also, just because my worldview of myself changed, right, that inner self, I now felt worthy. I now felt like I could do these other things because I had this higher view of myself. And because of that higher view of myself, I felt like, okay, now I can do anything. Now I am the man, and now I need to act like the man, and now I need to bring up these other areas of my life. And that, you know, I think a lot of guys have it backwards, right? And this is the problem. This is why I'm making this video for you guys. All right, hopefully you find it useful. I mean, I'm just trying to help you guys now. This is my mission with these daily videos, okay? But a lot of you guys have it backwards, all right? What you're trying to do, and again, this coaching plan I was just talking about, his plan was this. It was the same thing. But what a lot of you guys are trying to do is you're trying to get the physique, get the money, right? Polish off all these other, get all your ducks in a row, and then you will go and start talking to women and approaching women. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't work on yourself. I'm not saying that, look, if you're way overweight, you know, if you need to fix some other things in your life, that you shouldn't fix some of those things first. But you don't gotta have six-pack abs, and you don't have to make millions of dollars to overcome this insecurity, okay? You just have to go and do it. And the problem with trying to do it the other way is that you think it'll be easier, but the whole point is that it's hard. That's it. Like, if you make it easier, which it won't make it easier, I promise you, like, it will never make it easier, okay? But the whole point is that it is hard, and that is why it's a respectable thing to do. And that's why when you see a guy do it, if you've ever seen a guy go up and cold approach a girl, you've probably had some level of, damn, I wish I could do that. Like, you know, you might have secretly made fun of him because you were jealous of him, okay? Been there, done that myself. But in reality, you're probably, you know, a little intimidated. You felt a little bit jealous. You're like, man, I wish I could have done that myself. But you can. It is within your capability now. And again, it doesn't matter what the results you get. It doesn't matter. We're not talking about outcome. I'm not trying to turn all of you guys into chick magnet, like pickup artists, ultra, whatever. That's not the goal here. The goal is just simply to just go out and conquer this fear until you feel like you've completely conquered it and you can handle it. It doesn't mean that you'll never be afraid. It just means that you know that you can handle the fear and you can do it. Just like, I don't know, I mean, I don't know if it relates the same on a roller coaster, but I mean, you do probably feel some fear. Like, I ride crazy roller coasters now. I used to be afraid of them. When I get in line for a roller coaster, if it's a crazy one, I still feel a little intimidated by it. Right? I still have a little bit of fear. It's not like I completely am fearless, right? But I know that I can conquer it. I know that I'm gonna stand in line, I'm gonna get in the seat, and I'm gonna go for the ride. And that's what I'm gonna do. And so once you have that ability with women, it's the single greatest thing, like I said, that is going to improve your personal development more than anything else. And I'm not just saying this just for myself and from some of the coaching clients that I've worked with, but I've seen it in so many guys' lives, right? I've seen so many guys, you know, because I was heavily involved in the dating and pickup space, right? And I know a lot of guys in that industry, and I know a lot of guys that were trying to figure things out, just like I was trying to figure things out. And I've seen those guys transform. I've seen those guys completely change their lives because this insecurity, they got rid of it, and then it changed the view of themselves, which caused them to be able to do the things that they weren't able to do before. So, you know, I hate for this to be the answer, right? Because it seems so shallow. It does, but it's not about the girl. See, that's the thing about this, right? And again, I'll say this and then I'll wrap it up, but it's not about the girl. It's not about girls at all. It has nothing to do with them. It is 100% about you and facing your own demons and insecurities. That's what it's about. And that's what really the whole thing, you know, for guys that get into pickup, I think for the most part, that's really what a lot of them are really seeking. Okay, and we won't even call it external validation, because yeah, external validation, sure, you've got that, and that's kind of what's initially driving you towards it. But there's this internal validation that you're seeking of proving to yourself that you can do it. That not that you can succeed at getting the girl. That's not even the thing. I mean, there's a different thing about that, but it's that you can just go and do it. And once you do that, the world, you'll see the world differently, I promise you. I did. See you tomorrow.